Hi, Darin Mangum here, securities lawyer with the law firm of Mangum and Associates. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'd like to hop on here now and again to chat quickly about a few things. Any of the topics that we cover on my YouTube channel, I know I try to keep it 5-10 minutes. If you want to go deeper on any one of these topics, you could always go to the PPM Attorney Capital Forum, and where we spend not just 5-10 minutes, but we go in super detail, at least a half hour, sometimes 45 minutes on all these different topics. And in fact, if you become a member of the forum, you also get access to all those recordings of past and future forums. Usually I try to jump on the forum once a week to go into a deep dive into a lot of these various topics. Today's topic, we're going to talk about what is a 3C5 fund. You hear a lot about a 3C1 all the time. 3C1. You need a private 3C1 fund, and that's true. That's great. You can definitely have a 3C1 fund, which 3C1 is referring to the exemption under the Investment Company Act for private funds, private investment funds, hedge funds, different kind of funds, right? What is a 3C5 fund? If you're into real estate, more than likely than not, whether you realize it or not, you are likely operating a 3C5 fund. And it is basically, it's a private investment fund that invests in real estate. Real estate are the core assets. And so one of the big key differences between a 3C1 and a 3C5 is that a 3C5, obviously it's real estate assets. If you're trading in securities or other kind of liquid assets, more likely than not, you're a 3C1 fund. If you're dealing with real estate interests, buying real estate, developing real estate, then 3C5 provides an exemption for you as long as you stay within the rule. What is the rule? You have to keep it as a private offering. One of the offering exemptions, like under Regulation D, like Rule 506B, 506C, are examples of that. And you have to keep your investors under 500 investors. And that's a big difference between, say, a 3C1 fund, which is like under 100 investors, right? 3C5, because it's real estate, then you can increase the number of investors quite a bit, right? And so, and again, the same offering rules apply, whether it's a 506B, 506C, those rules still apply on top of the 3C5 exemption, right? And so, and what are the different kinds of 3C5 funds, different kind of real estate funds? One of the most common funds, one of the most common 3C5 funds is just a pure syndication, right, around one particular property. We're going to buy this property. We're going to make improvements on it. We're going to invest it, maybe hold on to it for cash flow, for income, and then maybe we're going to exit or sell it, right? Or maybe we're going to buy this piece of land and we're going to subdivide it, make improvements, and then start selling off the parcels, right? Different strategies related to real estate certainly are great candidates for a 3C5 fund, but like those are examples of a 3C5, right? Now you also can have a little broader, like what we call like a real estate opportunity fund. And what is that? Well, real estate opportunity fund is not one particular property, but what you're doing is conveying to the investor that, hey, we're going to be acquiring these different kinds of real estate as the opportunities are found and as we do our due diligence. It may not be this hotel on 123 Main Street. But we're looking for, generally speaking, opportunities around buying hotels that fit this certain criteria, right? You can be regional, focused within a particular geographic region, or you can be as broad as, hey, as long as it fits our certain parameters, as long as it's this specific kind of multifamily, or maybe it's these kind of houses that we're going to fix and flip. Even like a debt fund, like a lending fund, where we're gonna be lending capital, or letting borrowers that are developers borrow certain amounts of money from us, and we'll take a first lien position, just like you would if you're a bank, But the private investment fund, the 3C5 fund in this case, would be the lender, right? Lending on these different properties, right? So that's a very different approach than just, say, a single property syndication that you're going to acquire and flip it. But it's more of, again, what we would call a real estate opportunity fund, where you've got broader discretion as to which particular properties you're buying, or even, say, a lending fund. Different strategies, right? So all of those different kinds of real estate funds can be done, all within the framework of a 3C5 exemption, right? And so again, if you're doing real estate, you definitely need to know what a 3C5 fund is. You likely need to have one as part of your arsenal as you go in. I mean, you could I've seen a lot of real estate people, they just rely exclusively on bank financing, which is great. Bank money is always cheaper than private capital under most any circumstances, unless, interest rates keep going up and up and up. So there's a tipping point where, investor capital is cheaper than a bank, but most of the time you've got to come up with the difference, right? The bank is only going to lend 50 cents on the dollar, or 50% loan to value, maybe 60% loan to value, 70% maybe, but depends on the risk profile of the bank or your risk profile, and you got to come up with that difference, right? And if you don't have it in your own pocket, you could put a 3C5 fund together and pool that capital, and that way you're able to use the bank loan and the investor capital together to go do the real estate, right? Anyway, if you want to chat more about 3C5 fund, again, our PPM Attorney Capital Forum, we're going to, some of our future forum sessions, we're going to get into details on that in more detail. But if you're ready to go, as far as if you're within 30 days of wanting to raise capital from investors, you definitely need to sit down with a seasoned securities attorney. Might I suggest Mangum and Associates, of course, but it doesn't have to be us. You just need to find a competent securities counsel to help you with that. We'd be glad to, again, give you a free consultation and a free quote as to what it would take to get one put together for you. Just feel free to reach out, and we'd be glad to chat about it. So anyway, just thought I'd get on and talk about, again, a lot of people request me questions about 3C5, and anyway, hopefully that gives you a broad overview of what that is all about. So anyway, thanks for watching your YouTube channel. Be sure to like or subscribe and share this with anybody that you know that are dealing with real estate investments or raising capital for real estate. We'd be happy to chat with them, make sure they're 100% compliant. Anyway, but thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you.